The former chairman of DAAR Communication, Chief Raymond Dokpesi, and former Sokoto State Governor Attahiru Bafarawa are also in the picture to answer questions in connection with the ongoing investigations into the alleged diversion of funds for arms procurement by the Office of the National Security Advisor. The EFCC alleges that Chief Raymond Dokpesi received 2.1 billion naira from the ex-NSA's office, while the former governor of Sokoto State, Mr. Bafarawa, and his son was picked up after investigation showed that he also allegedly received about 4.6 billion naira from the office of the NSA with no clear reason for payment. On Dokpesi's part, the money was said to have been disbursed for media and political campaigns for the 2015 elections. He pleads not guilty to the 6-count charge against him.
Look, in summarizing this deal, the arms deal, I will tell you very bitterly that what is playing out is our money. And that's why we ask the question. Between the year 2013 and 2015, the country spent over 3 trillion naira on security. How then was it possible that this ragtag Boko Haram is able to overwhelm our military? It is that the money meant for the procurement of arms and ammunition were diverted, were looted, while our soldiers who are determined to fight are sent there barehanded. And when they protested, it met the convenience of the Nigerian army to declare that mutiny, tried them, and sentenced them to death. Will the conscience of this country continue to sustain that sentence of death? Certainly the answer is no. The principle of law which insists that for you to have a clear rule of law in any society, every person must be equal before the law. One will wish that that is in full throttle and operation in the country. And we ask the pointed question, how many ordinary Nigerians who are charged with stealing handsets, tubers of yam, how many of them have been able to successfully secure a stay of proceedings in a criminal trial in this country? Why is it that the ruling class now seem to have a way of protecting themselves by the kind of divergent application of the law? Why is it that so often than not, the trajectory is always known, the narrative is clear. You arrest a big man, the battle starts with the gathering of the best of lawyers in the country, including senior advocates. And of course, they are entitled to it. I'm talking of both the accused and even the lawyers. Bail are usually granted. If they are not, it becomes intensified so high that it will seem as if heavens will fall. Further applications are brought to allow the accused person travel abroad for medical attention. Just watch it. Further applications are brought to stay the proceedings of the court there, pending the determination of an appeal in respect of anything. It could be an interlocutory issue. So it is now the resolve of the leadership of the country to say that this is already a problem. Is it not better we reorganize our administration of criminal justice system in such a way as to make sure that every person, however highly placed, is under the law? Just so that the impression is not created out there that there are two parallel legal systems operational in the same jurisdiction. One in favor of the ruling class and the other against the ordinary people. And therefore, my take in it will be that it will take the determination and the resolve of a responsible government, a government that is determined to sanitize the system, to ensure that we enjoy a rule of law that is above every other person in the country.
And more arrests and prosecution. A former Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Mr. Patrick Akpobolokemi, is facing a case of embezzlement and fraud. The suspect was said to have obtained a presidential approval of 13 billion naira through the Office of the National Security Advisor to former President Goodluck Jonathan, Sambo Dasuki, for the acquisition and development of a temporary site for the Nigerian Maritime University. And just as is perfected a bail of 50 million naira granted him by Justice Ibrahim Buba, a mild drama ensued outside the court premises. Akpobolokemi is rearrested shortly after his trial over an alleged 2.6 billion fraud. He faces another 3.4 billion naira fraud charges pending against him and 9 others before Justice Saliu Seidu, which has been adjourned till January 29, 2016. In one of the new charges filed before a federal high court in Lagos, Mr. Akpobolokemi faces 40 count charges of fraud and money laundering to the tune of 34.5 billion naira. In the second charge filed before a Lagos High Court also, he's accused of stealing 600 million naira.
I want us in this 8th Senate to ensure that our committees carry out proper oversight. And we, as leadership, are going to ensure that we too find a way of making sure that committees do their work of oversight. Because truly, that is the bottom line to this. Even the current investigation going on in the National Security Advisor's Office, also whether we like it or not, in a way to, again, the oversight function of the National Assembly brought to question. We must play a role in the area of oversight. Because if we don't play it, at the end of the day, this is what we get.
This is a recent meeting between the House of Representatives Committee on Financial Crimes and the management of the EFCC. The EFCC boss discloses the move so far made to ensure adequate and result-oriented prosecution of suspects.
We have realized that having number of charges, 100 charges on a person, tend to give them a leeway in escaping, because it becomes very difficult for you to prove your case beyond reasonable doubt. But we have noted this. We have reduced charges. If you have seen these people who are involved in procurement, arms deal, fraud.
It is therefore extremely saddening for us to discover, like most Nigerians, the sheer magnitude of outright stealing allegedly perpetrated by those entrusted with securing lives and property of poor and powerless Nigerians under the guise of fighting Boko Haram.
Inasmuch as Nigerians applaud the move by the Buhari government to stamp out corruption in all facets, there are arguments that the economy is in a standstill.
A few months ago, it became possible for the federal government to bail out the ailing states that were unable to pay salaries for some upward of 6-7 months. That money came from a singular source, which was the remittances by way of royalty and tax from a particular source. That source of payment was never, in the past 16 years, disclosed to the Nigerian people, Nigerian government, or made known as a source of revenue to this country. One single source. What am I saying? It is that Nigeria is already under a life support system. Nigeria has been bleeded to a point of debt. Even if you begin to target direct foreign investment today, it will take, if you are too lucky, it will take not less than half a year to be able to begin to reap the dividends of those efforts. And therefore, it has become clear that if we could even recover, and it's happening already, you probably have heard that billions of dollars have been recovered. The Administration of Justice System Act 2015 is also such that creates a leeway around the issue of recovery, just so that, one, you don't waste the resources of the state in going through the whole hog of prosecution, and secondly, that you show some remorse and that you are disposed to recover what you have taken. So, I believe that if you have an ailing patient at the point of death, what you do first is not to begin to think of ways to make him productive. A man is in a sick bed at the point of death, urging you to call a imam or a pastor to give him last prayer, which is the state of Nigeria today. And you, because you are eager and desperate, is thinking of what else to do to ensure that you maximize what you can get in terms of... No. What you do is to revive it first. Stabilize it. Stabilize the man first. Give him life first. Just so that you can begin to think of what to do with him. I think that that is the state we are.